Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you for joining me again. So you'll notice that I've got a different light going on right now. Hopefully it's not too dim. I might get penalised for this later by people viewing it, but there is a reason why I've put it like this. So trigger warning. I did a video, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, regarding miscarriage, or maybe 3 weeks ago, but anyway. So I had a few people reach out to me, not on the YouTube because it's too public for that, respecting people, you know, and they told me about some of their experiences related to miscarriage, but not exactly on miscarriage. Again, trigger warning. If you have experienced anything related to losing a child, feel free to finish this now and not to watch it at all, because I just don't want to upset anybody or bring anybody any heartache or emotional moments, or, you know, if you're already going through something mentally, if you're going through something now, I don't want to cause you any more pain. So yeah. So as you will have gathered by the title, this is going to be a vlog on stillbirth, connecting to SIDS. If you don't know what SIDS is, it's sudden infant death syndrome, but I don't call it a syndrome, so yeah. Now I'm trying to I've been thinking so hard how to approach this, because again, it's a very sensitive issue. Going back to the light, I wanted to make this as respectful as possible, so this is actually the colour symbolic of stillbirth awareness, which is pink and blue. Obviously for pink for a baby, pink and blue for baby boy or girl. However, I think I'm going to have to change the light, sorry, because my eyes can hurt with sensitive lighting or different lighting, so I think I need to change it. So apologies for that. I wanted to start it off like this for that reason, but I will have to change it, so I'll be right back. Okay, that's much better, sorry. Again, I apologise about that, but I get really bad headaches if I don't have a proper lighting, and my glasses are a bit dodgy-fied right now, so I can't wear them. So yes, there's so much to cover on this, so if this becomes a really long vlog, I apologise, and you don't have to watch the entire of it because it's your choice. But I do have a story to share that I've been given permission of by a friend, so please stay tuned for that, I guess. I've got my notes if you've not already realised I'm looking to the left a lot, because I don't want to get this wrong. It's a very sensitive subject, and I want to try and give as much awareness out there as possible and as much information as possible, because I don't think there's much awareness of it. There you go, what's new, right? So yeah, right, so let me just figure out where I started writing. Literally recycled the whole box just to write stuff on. So obviously stillborns, right, you would instantly think, well, no, my first question would be, what causes a child to be stillborn? Obviously. So this is the list. Try not to make it too factual, but you know, I'll do it as I can. So my writing is not the perfect one when I'm writing notes. So things like complications with the placenta. If you are not familiar with this, or not familiar with this, no, I said that wrong. If you're not really into that information about the placenta and the reasons, the job of the placenta, the connection of the placenta, this and that, maybe you're not a nurse or a doctor, whichever, midwife, or you might not have any insight onto it at all. Basically, the placenta is the connection of the baby. So this is the placenta. That's the womb. That's the mum. Oh, the baby, sorry. See, I'm already getting confused. Yeah, it's connected to the baby. It provides good blood supply and nourishes the baby, obviously, with your food or drink, whichever you're having. Basically, in a way, you could call it the baby's lifeline. And that's not to sound nasty or anything. If anyone's had issues with the placenta and said, oh great, I messed up my lifeline. No, I didn't. That's not exactly what I'm saying. But it is the connection, basically, keeping the baby alive. So yeah. So yeah, that's, like I said, complication of the placenta. It's mainly about the placenta because, like I say, the placenta provides everything. It's just the ultimate connection to the mum, which is obviously the person nourishing the baby. So yeah, problems with placenta, like abnormal bleeding. I'll get onto that a bit later. I can't read my writing, sorry about this. Yeah, sometimes the baby can be born normal. When I say normal, I don't mean that insulting to any child that's got a disability. What I mean is they will be born healthy, but they might be born small for their gestation or average, I don't know. For instance, when my daughter was born, to say how ironically big I was, she was quite small. She was like from here to here. Now you might say that's your average baby, but my son, my third child, my second son, him and my daughter I was told they were born small for their age. But hey ho, I just assume that it's because I'm small anyway in height, so yeah. You could have bleeding either bleeding before or during labour. That's what I meant to say. Which would obviously be an instant trigger warning sign something's definitely wrong. Now, that's not to say that this cannot be rectified or helped with. Obviously, during the time that you're giving labour or before labour, you're in the best hands possible when it comes to the doctors, the midwives, anyone. They have seen it all, they know it all, and as much as they're going to try and keep you calm, they will know exactly what's happening, or near enough to what's happening, and like it or not, they will know the 50-50 chances of what's going to happen. Which I suppose in a way is good because they can prepare you for whatever. Because they had to prepare themselves no matter what the situation. You can have placenta abruption. If you don't know what that is, basically placenta disconnects from the womb. And again, that's basically the lifeline to the baby, so floating in space. Again, that's not to sound disrespectful or anything, but again, like I said, this is a trigger warning because this is not a great subject to talk about, but there's a lot of women out there who go through this, and like I said about miscarriage, they're afraid to talk about it, or they don't want to, or there's just not enough people willing to, because obviously rightly so, it is a hurtful subject, but you know, I think that if women had more information out there, it would be a bit more, not easier, but a bit more helpful to understand and take in. I remember, short, quick cut off here, but I remember after I had my child, completely different thing, but our subject, but nobody told me about everything that happens after birth, which would have been helpful. But yeah, defects when the baby is born. Signs to look out for are bleeding or pain in the abdomen. Preeclampsia, which happens when preeclampsia is caused by high blood pressure. Sorry about that. Basically what it is when the cord might slip down into the room. Basically this is baby before the baby is born. This is also called a cord prolapse. The cord could become wrapped around the baby's neck, or it could become knotted. So again, basically, you know, you see sometimes in these videos, the baby is born when the cord is literally around their neck. Now, that's concerning enough because you're basically choking the child. Not you choking the child, that's wrong to say because it's not your fault, but basically the child is being suffocated by its own cord. So in that instance, they usually say when the baby's born, get the cord off quickly and give the child the internal care they need quickly. Again, this is not your fault. I know I can say nature happens, but you know, sometimes that's just, it happens, and it's not a great thing to happen, but you know, if we tried to stop every possible thing during pregnancy from happening to our babies, you might as well have a test tube baby, because you can't really prevent everything. You know, you can't prevent yourself getting a cold, you can't prevent yourself getting, you know, vomiting or anything like that. So yeah, and then obviously if the placenta becomes knotted, when I say knotted, it's like tying a knot, it's the same thing. You know, there's prevention of blood supply to the baby and prevention of nourishment. So either way, your baby is at risk. Right, intrahepatic cholestasis. Sorry, I really had to check on that because I don't want to get this or anything wrong. I can't read half of my writing because I've just scribbled it down. So this is usually caused by genetics. Again, that's not insulting anybody with any genetics issues or unknown genetic issues. But yeah, that's what it says. But yeah, it's obstruction in the liver, basically. Signs of this can be seen through itching. This can cause premature labour, respiratory diseases, risk of preeclampsia, and yeah, stillbirth. Now, this situation apparently can be, let me say this, but there's a bit of hope for a situation like this. Basically, if you have this diagnosis in your pregnancy, they do say it's not 100%, but a way of trying to decrease a stillbirth situation. They do suggest giving birth or being induced or whichever to have the baby 36 weeks of gestation or pregnancy. This is just to give as much care and as much chance to the baby and the mum, obviously. You know, there's a possible gestational diabetes with this situation as well, so at all costs, all interventions are suggested, basically. I'm really sorry if I seem a bit slurry. There's so much information that I want to give to you without it being too much or too personal or too emotional, and I just want to make sure I get everything right as much as possible. Literally just, this is my information. It's embarrassing, but yeah, I didn't have a clipboard or anything next to me at the time, so yeah, continue. So if I bob in and out, it's just me checking on my information. Great, innit? Yeah. Obviously, if there's an infection, if the mum has an infection as well, there's a range of infections they could get, which I'll touch on later. Obviously, if mum gets poorly, baby gets poorly, because you're connected, basically. So that's why they say, you know, get the flu jab. Other situations that could cause stillbirth, which I personally didn't even know about. I don't know if anyone knows this, but from what I've gathered from my own experience, apparently if you are having a third child, your status, I suppose, is classed as multiple pregnancies. I didn't know that, I just thought it was baby number 3. So unfortunately, one of the other causes of stillbirth is having twins or multiple pregnancies. Also, the situations could be the baby's not growing well, which could incur stillbirth. I think maybe because if it's not growing well, it's not developing the organs properly. The obvious stuff like smoking, drinking, abusing drugs, it's not always a great thing no matter what pregnancy it is. Being obese, so if your BMI is 30 or above, that can increase your chances of having a stillbirth. I was told that when I was pregnant with my 3rd child, and it scared the hell out of me, I'm not even gonna lie. I have my own issues with eating, I'm gonna lie, and it's not been easy for me to sort out my weight, and people commenting on it doesn't help either. So but yeah, when I got told that, I was like held back, because I just presumed trying to lose weight when you're pregnant was not a great thing because you're trying to nourish your baby. Not trying to fatten it up either, but yeah, it just confused the hell out of me. So, but there you go. Let me think now. So yeah. Other infections that we can get. It's great, isn't it? So these are contribution factors to having risks of stillbirth. Again, feel free to turn off this video now if you are not into it or you're feeling too overwhelmed by it. I honestly do not blame you. Some of this I won't be able to say again, but hey ho. So, bacterial influenza, which apparently can be, please forgive me for using this word, apparently this can enter in your vagina and then go to the womb. I have no idea how that would even happen, and quite frankly I'm not really sure I want to know, so apologies, but if you want to know more about that, please feel free to look at yourself. I just don't feel like it's something I could put on YouTube, sorry. Group B Streptococcus, E. coli, Klebsiella, chlamydia. Again, just remind you, these are infections that you could get that could hurt the baby, basically. Chlamydia, if somebody has got it, and you still want to be sexually active with them but you're pregnant, it is suggested that they use a condom, obviously. Rubella, which is another word for German measles if you're not sure about that. The flu, hence why we're encouraged to get flu vaccines. So anybody that's anti-vaccine out there, I don't know what to tell you. I can't tell you anything because you'll have your own mindset. Written something else here that I can't even say properly. Basically it's called slapped cheek syndrome, which is a childhood infection apparently that you can carry or get. Coxsackie virus, which is from hand, foot and mouth disease, so I'm guessing it's from animals, so yeah. Herpes simplex, which is genital herpes, a virus that you can spread through bodily fluids such as saliva or urine. Again, if you want to have more information on this, please feel free, but some things even I'm not comfortable to say on YouTube, so yeah. Just looking for some other bits that I remember writing down, but I can't find it. Oh, apparently if you have epilepsy as well, that's a significant factor to having a stillborn baby. But I say this with caution because I'm pretty sure, because trust me, I don't care what disability you have, I don't care what learning disability you have, everybody has a right to have a child, in my opinion. And if that person is of sound mind and can make up their choices and decisions, perfectly fine, go for it. I don't care if you're disabled. If you want a child, you will find a way, trust me. And I don't think anyone should be not for having a disability and wanting a child at all. People can... There's a stigma again about people who have disabilities who can manage having a baby. As long as you have the support and the help, as far as I'm concerned, you should be allowed to make those choices by yourself. Right, so this... Sorry, had to cut there because I need to really read what I'm writing here. So we're still on infections. Listeriosis, which is an infection that you can get from contaminated food. Leptospirosis is bacteria from mice or rats. So if you've got any pets that are mice or rats and you're having a child, strongly recommend that you keep them away from you and wash your hands obviously after having any contact with them. Again, it's your life, just a suggestion. I've got nothing against pets, so yeah. Lyme's disease, which is caused by infected ticks, which shouldn't be an issue unless you're living in a third world country, I think, and that's not anything against a third world country, but it's what I've heard that you can contract. Malaria, which you can get from mosquitoes. O fever, which is an infection which you can get from sheep, goats and cows, so I'm guessing if you've got a farm. Toxoplasmosis, which is an infection from parasites that are found in soils, and cat feces. Again, it's highly likely some of these situations might be relevant for you, but it's always better to look out. I'm not saying that you should be wrapped up in a bubble when you get pregnant, but obviously if you've had this risk already given to you, because they tell you at the start of the whole gestation and midwife appointments, they tell you these risks that you're open to, so obviously the more information you're given, the more better you can try to avoid the situations, in my opinion. I really feel like I've lost some stuff, but hey ho. This has just been a nutshell, like getting confused as hell. So before I tell you the story that I've been given permission to give to you, I will give you some insights on how to reduce your risk of stillbirth basically and take care of yourself in pregnancy. This is literally just me all the time. Yeah. So, found it. So obviously try to not smoke, take drugs or alcohol. If you are taking medication, obviously your midwife will be communicating with you about that and how to, you know, do it, how to take your medication safely, especially if you've got like a disability or you've already got your own sickness or condition that you might have, maybe epileptic or whichever, you know, whatever your medical condition is. I'm pretty sure your midwife will be able to go through that with you and not, you know, work with you on how to maintain your medication intake, like I say, safely, and keep an eye on your baby. Alcohol, it is suggested that you can have, I believe it's 2 glasses of wine a week and a pint of beer, or it might be the other way around, which is safe for pregnancy because apparently the iron in the beer is good for the baby, but I would not recommend making it a weekly thing and having that as an excuse. Obviously attend all your appointments, let your midwife know of any concerns you might have, little or small. Things like itching, you could think it's just you, or you're just, you know, having a little itch now and then, you might have a eczema, or, you know, you might have an allergic reaction. Even itching is a sign of stillbirth, remember. Not saying it will be, but it could be. You know, anything small or big, the midwife doesn't mind. She's heard it all. Being of a heavy weight, like I said about BMI index, your body mass index, and being obese. Not saying you're obese, but just watch it. Getting vaccinated. Again, if you're anti-vaccine, I can't stop you. Only you can control your body. But we all want what's best for the baby. Have some good food, obviously. Report any trauma or pain or bleeding with your abdomen or down there, basically. Note your baby's movements. This is always something that they tell you. It's not concerning if, like, well, no, let me rephrase that. Personally, I don't think it's concerning if you worry about your child's not moving for half a day or whatever. It's how you feel comfortable. You'll get used to your baby's movements. And I remember with all three of my children, at some point I thought, did I feel the child kick today? Did I feel it move today? Sometimes they were just being lazy, having a sleepover or sleeping. Yeah. But yeah, just be aware of it. It's always healthy to sleep on your side because of your placenta. If you're laid on your back, you know, baby's here, your organs are here, everything's kind of smushed near to the back. So that's why sometimes pregnant people complain of back pain. Because they're laying on the back a lot and all the pressure is being pushed to the back. Imagine you being pushed up against the wall. So obviously the placenta might be squished as well. So it's always helpful, just make sure it's laid on your side, the placenta is nice and laid down and blood flow and stuff like that. I've written something again here that I can't understand. No heavy foods, try to avoid fatty foods. They say not to really eat eggs or fish, especially raw fish. Be careful with your milk and cheeses, dairy, things like that. But again, this information will be given to you by your midwife. So, and obviously you can look it up online, but just don't go too crazy with it, because one of the reasons why I did this vlog is because people can get a bit obsessed or a bit overwhelmed with the information to keep your baby healthy and safe. And let's be honest, you can only do so much. You are basically a walking hotel for the baby for the whole pregnancy, and it's up to you to feel comfortable with what you're doing with your baby. Nobody has the right to tell you what to do, obviously, but at the same time, I trust you know yourself if you feel a bit weird or whatever, and it's your job to highlight these things to the midwife or doctor. But midwives and doctors have worked with babies for how many years? And as far as I'm concerned, if we didn't have midwives or need them, there wouldn't be a job for them. They know how to manage and help us with our babies, with our gestation, with our pregnancy. So it's up to you, I guess, if you want to listen to them or not. So before I give you some websites, which I'll link below as well, on stillbirth charities and places to go for information, support, etc., I will share the story now for you. Hi, so jumping right back in. So she's given permanent, God's sake, I can't speak. You know, sometimes my dyslexia is just so annoying. So yeah, she gave me permission to use her name. I won't use her last name for privacy reasons, but that's my own decision. So my friend Louise, I met her, I think, was it 2 years ago? 1 or 2 years ago? I think it was 1 or 2 years ago. I think I was pregnant with my third, but I can't quite remember. Anyway, But yeah, roughly 2 or 3 years. Lovely woman. Met her at a gathering for a Filipino charity. We were doing different thing, but yeah. And I just remembered looking at her and thinking, she looks so vibrant. She looks so full of life and gorgeous head to toe. And she just, we were talking about having a fashion show. I said, she should try to be a model for the fashion show. And she was very anxious about it, basically. She was very, I don't think I could fit in those clothes, and I've seen these girls, and I was like, go for it, why not? Who gives a damn? If you'd have seen her in the restaurant that we were in, the smile that she had on her face and the light in her eyes, you would not know what she went through or what she's been through. And after her telling me the story of her journey to this day, it is such a typical saying of a mother. You wear your smile every day and continue and get on with life as much as normal as you can, when behind the smile you're crying inside. Now, this is not any way to offend her, and I've already spoken to her about it, but it's one of those typical things where the mother is internally hurting. On the outside, you're brave for everyone else, for the world, for your family, for your children that you have. So I do want to point out that I have looked this up, and I don't think it's fair, because it's your child and you should be able to do what the hell you freaking want when it's in that situation. But by law, apparently, if your baby is stillborn after 26 weeks or 24 weeks, legally, by law, you have to have the child buried. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to suggest that you should have your baby in your house, the body basically there to remind you, just to be there basically. But I don't know, I'm shocked to know that even though they nicely, calmly say you don't have to have a funeral, they really say that you have to do it. Who gives them the damn right to say that? You need time to process what's happened. It's bad enough when you have a miscarriage, but yeah, you literally have that child and you have not had the child. You can't bond with it, you can't talk to it, you can't breastfeed it. I say it because he or she, whichever. So that bugged me very much, but I just wanted to put it out there because you might be in shock when you hear about that. You have to legally bury your child at 24, after 24, for God's sake. Legally bury your child if they're stillborn at 24 weeks. So yeah. Going back to Louise. So she has a lovely Filipino husband, so we can relate because I have a Filipino husband, obviously. And they have, to my knowledge, I was still getting to know her, so they have a little boy, and I think the husband has a child from, anyway, I don't know. That's not part of the story. Yeah, they have a little boy, and basically they have 2 boys actually, sorry, correction. I've only met the little one. So her story basically, I think she has a friend who went through the same thing. I'm not sure, I haven't asked her, but from what I've gathered from their Facebook, that's what I've seen. So in a very strange and complicated way, I suppose it's nice to have somebody who's gone through it with you, or who knows what you've gone through. Basically, she has explained to me that they have had 7 pregnancies, if I remember this correctly. I'm sorry, Louise, if I get this wrong, but I keep having to go back to the phone. 2 of them were the boys. 5 of them were all miscarriages. From what I've been explained to, one of them was a miscarriage at just about 12 weeks, I think, which I've had the displeasure of going through as well, so obviously there's not really anything you can bury. And then she had her last miscarriage in 2021, which I wasn't even aware of. 26 weeks, so that would be the stillborn. Now, I've spoken to her and we have both agreed that no matter what stage you lose a child, it is horrific. It's even worse so when you've had that many miscarriages. Even though I'm sad I went through one, I'm so thankful it was only the one. Because, like I said, I've met people who have had miscarriages, 7 miscarriages even. I've met people who have had a pregnancy with twins and one of the twins died, but the other twin was born. Different person, I won't mention the name because I don't have permission, but yeah, I don't even know how that works, but anyway. But yeah, so she had the miscarriage at 12 weeks, I think, and then the last one was in 2021, which was the 12 weeks miscarriage. But yeah, point is, it doesn't get any easier. We were both talking about how your whole life just goes silent, but to people around you, you're smiling, putting on a face, especially when you've got children already. You need to be strong for them. You get on with life as normal as much as you can, but when you have that moment to yourself, you're just screaming inside, and you have to get on with life, everyone else, you know. And yes, there's people out there that can support you, but like we both agreed as well, although they don't intentionally mean it, they just don't say the right things. You know, they say the wrong thing. If it was me, I would say just be there. Don't say anything to me, just be there. You know, don't say it's going to be alright, don't say you're still young or it's not meant to be. Just be there, just shut up and be there. And, you know, even with her, we both were thinking the same thing, even though we didn't know each other the same at that time. Again, we're not saying that. We're not judging people, what age they get pregnant, how they get pregnant, whatever. But we were just thinking, what did we do in a past life that was so wrong to make us have this so much loss trying to have a baby? You know, did we do something that... She was saying, did she do something that she, you know, in a past life? And it doesn't get any easier. So I was having a nice chat with her, to be honest, as much as the subject's not great, and I told her that I would like to interview her. She wasn't too confident to come on, which is fair enough. It's not easy to talk about. People think I talk about it so easily, but to be honest, I'm just, I don't know, it's like a front, not a front of lies, but I just tried to get it out there, and then, you know, you don't see what I'm like off camera, so yeah. And the change of tone of voice can tell you how I'm feeling right now. But yeah, she was telling me that losing the 5 children that she lost, it's horrific. And every time you get that positive pregnancy test, it's like hope. But when you have that loss, it's like stone cold quiet. Now, people might say, if you had that many losses, why would you continue to try and have a baby? If you've never been in that situation, you just don't know. You just don't give up that hope that you might be able to conceive and have a successful pregnancy. You know, they had a 12-year gap, I think, in between a child, or yeah. you just hope for that one chance to have that baby. And you can't blame somebody if they've gone through that. And I know someone who, and not personally, but I know people who have had successful children. I say successful, I mean successful pregnancies. They've had good pregnancy. It's your chance to have a child, basically. For anybody who's thinking, like I say, you should just give up or be grateful you've got the one child. Again, you can't judge, you can't say that. I mean, I would probably say the same thing sometimes, like, you know, you should be grateful you've got a child, but and I've seen people who have had children and the next child or next pregnancy, it just went horribly wrong. And you're thinking, I've already given birth, how can that happen? My body should be used to it. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. But yeah, the good thing is that she's a great mum. She's got a supportive husband. She's got 2 lovely little boys. And like myself, she remembers the children that she's lost. We can't do anything about it now, we can only pray for those children and focus on the kids that we do have. But I think we need to be aware that this can happen, and people should be, like miscarriages, you should be able to talk about it, support each other with it, you know? Especially, like I said, the dads. Us women, we go through it, we experience it, so we have a hell of a lot to carry, but it's dads as well, because they can't be there to carry the baby, carry the emotional baggage. They have their own feelings as well. And if you think the mum is already going through a tough time, you think about the dad as well. And I think if you swap positions, you know, you would look at the dad as well and think, mate, how do you manage? How do you cope? Because they're feeling it as well. And I think not more so than mum, but a little bit more as well, because they're thinking, how can I help you? You know? But yeah, I'm going to try and cut this off a bit because I don't want to overwhelm you with information, and I don't want you to be panicking. I don't want you to feel like you have to panic for your pregnancy. Like I said, if there are any risks, your midwife will be there for you. If you have any concerns, you just let your midwife know. Swallow a little, let them know. If you think you're peeing too much, let them know. If you've got pain in your side, let them know. Backache, let them know. If you felt sick, let them know. You know, they'll get you seen, basically. I'm trying so hard not to yawn, I'm so tired. But yeah. Again, I'm going to link down below some support charities with helpful information or people who have experienced the same thing. If you want to have a look, by all means have a look. If you are going through the same thing right now, my heart goes out to you, and anonymously, I suppose, I'm praying for you. Anybody who knows someone who's gone through this, like I said, just be there for them. If you would like me to do a part 2 on information around this or miscarriage, feel free to let me know. I'm open to helping people how much ever I can, especially on this platform. Like I said, we need people to be able to feel comfortable to talk about it and help them manage it. I'm not going to say deal with it, but help them cope, because it's not easy, and things like this can put you into depression. Let's be honest, it can mess up your mental health and leave you feeling so low you don't know what to do with yourself. So yeah, leave a comment down below if you thought this was helpful for you, or you're a bit confused by something I might have said, so you want me to rectify it. By all means, I can do that for you, I really don't mind. Share it if you thought it would help somebody, because I really want you to know that you're not alone, and all the taboo information that you get, or this taboo subject as it is anyway, you know, it's not easy to listen to or understand if you're not working in the health sector. And it's just something that needs to be supported. Again, yeah, I'll link down below the charities. Please do like it if you found it useful. Share the video again, like I say, if you think anyone else needs to hear it. I'm not trying to make you scared of being pregnant, don't get me wrong. If you've just got pregnant, congratulations. Just take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and take care of you. If you take care of yourself, your baby will be taken care of. But yeah. And yeah, please subscribe if you'd like more information on this kind of topic. Subscribe for more information. Subscribe for more vlogs probably like this, or other vlogs that might be more fun. But yeah, you have my total sympathy if you've been through this. You have my love and my prayers, my anonymous support. Because to be honest, I don't think I could go through that. I don't. I've already been through miscarriage, and that was early stage. If I went through that, I think I'd be yeah. I'm so blessed and grateful, like I said, for my 3 children, even though the driver's mad. I'm so blessed and grateful. So yeah. I truly hope that I've helped you in some way. I hope that I pray for your pregnancies. And I guess in a way I hope you will find something helpful. I don't know. Yeah, I'm running out of words because it's such a subject that's like you don't want to say too much or too little, or you don't want to upset anybody, or you know what I mean. So yeah, from one mother to another, I hope you're safe, hope your baby's safe, and God bless you, obviously. To Louise, thank you so much for sharing your story with me, and for the people that are going to be watching this, and God bless you and your family. So in the next vlog, hopefully it'll be something fun. But yeah, until next time, God bless you and good night. Hey guys, just a quick interjection before I do the outro, because I was just looking at what I've been saying. Just to quickly let you know, if I didn't already, I will be linking down below the websites where you can get advice, support, yeah, anything that you might need for this situation or this topic. And just to let you know, I believe the charity, the Lullaby Trust and Simba specialise in giving you memory boxes of for your baby. Just little things to remember the baby by. And I'm also going to invert some poems made by some lovely people that remain anonymous relating to the subject. So hope you enjoy.